Matt's not here. We can save the porno jokes for later.
Not a big nerd.
Anyone here who
A sword without a sheath. Good lord. You have a sword without a sheath. I'm getting Star Chaser all over the place.
Actual like Indiana
I am picturing it.
like he took off his pants. Someone in the front row with pictures on it to try and find a tech guy for us.
They're all blocking
Then your room. Go.
That's what friends are for.
Well, okay, I can project, that sounds bad, but I can project into the microphone, that sounds worse. I can talk loud. So pretty much what this is a, can you guys hear me okay? Okay. I'm going to yell! Okay. This is a panel called Movies Everybody Disagrees With You On. Okay, this is a panel, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
This is a panel called Science. Movies everyone disagrees with you on. This is pretty much, actually not as much about us, this is much more about you guys, because the thing about movies that a lot of people, you know, including us as our persona sometimes, will try to tell you is that there's good movies and bad movies and there's no in between, and they should make a book about what's good and what's bad and stuff.
Aren't there?
And honestly, movies, like any form of art, it's not a mathematical formula, it's not a science, nothing's exact about it, it's all opinion based.
It's not.
You shouldn't be at this panel.
But if you look at the chart, it's totally a mathematical formula.
You know, if you flip a coin, it comes up heads, it's like, that's fact, it just came up heads. But if you say, you know, whatever, one movie is good, one movie is bad, that's not fact, it's opinion. And movies, like any form of art, they're supposed to make you feel something, and everybody's gonna be raised different or come from a different environment or a different culture, a different age group, whatever. So everybody's just gonna have a different reaction to something, and movies are the exact same way. So here, we're just talking about films that either everybody hates but you love, or everybody loves but you hate, and just finding out that there is no right or wrong answer. It's just about explaining yourself, and if anything, when you talk about movies that someone else disagrees with you on, rather than shoving your opinion saying you're wrong, when you ask why, you may find out something about that person that you never knew before. Something that's actually really cool, really frightening, or really cool. You find out more about the person. That's one of the great things that movies, like I said, a form of art should do. You find out more about a person. You find out more about life. You find out about all that great stuff. With that said, I always start off with a movie that everyone disagrees with me on. We'll go down the line just with our sad confessions about it, or no, our proud confessions, damn it, because we stand by them. And a film that everyone disagrees with me on, I'm trying to think of a good one. Oh, here's a good one. I hated Dark Knight Rises. I could not stand it. No, they didn't. No, you can tell half the room was like, yeah, the other half is like, dude.
Why?
Love you.
What did you not like?
And I couldn't get into it. I love The Dark Knight. And I like Batman Begins. I couldn't get into it because I felt it was trying to shove a little too much. Batman, I felt was turning into a little bit too much of a doofus, being taken advantage of constantly. And I felt, I'll try not to give anything away, but with Bane being kind of not doing it for himself, but doing it for a past villain, it's sort of like if the Joker came in Dark Knight and said, I'm doing this for the Scarecrow! He's just not as cool. You know, it's not as cool. But there's definitely stuff I liked in it, but for me, I couldn't quite get into it. And then the secret villain at the end. No, really, this was the villain. You know, that person's not on any of the posters or anything, but you're supposed to really hate that person now, you know, so. But a lot of people disagree, and a lot of people really like that movie. It made a ton of money. So again, it's just my opinion. If you like it, great, go ahead and like it. You know, part of the fun is discussing it. So here, we'll start down here. Malcolm, what's one that you hate or you like, everyone else disagrees?
All right. I actually like Spider-Man 3, the Sam Raimi one. And You know, the thing is like, I know that Sam Raimi was just kind of basically trolling everybody because he didn't want to do a third film. Because the producers told him to, you know, shove in all these villains and these plot lines, and he was like, well, okay, I'll do it. And you can see, like, his particular style in that. He's just, you know, having fun with it. Even with emo Peter Parker, you know, doing his jazz dance. I love that scene. I was like, this is hilarious.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, that's just me. So I know some people hated that.
Andy.
Go, what do you rep?
I really like Titanic. I think the romance between Billy Zane and Leonardo DiCaprio is films I'm just gonna say it, and like, it's a shame Brad Jones isn't here, but it's always the first one that comes up in my head is I love Batman Returns. It's my favorite Batman. It is sick, it is twisted, it has no fucking clue what the hell it's doing half the time, but it's just got Christopher Walken as well, so I just love that movie. Like, I like it, I don't admit this mostly in public, but I like it more than The Dark Knight, I like it more than Tim Burton's first Batman film. I'm just saying, I love that movie. Now, if you want me to defend it as the greatest movie ever, no. But I enjoy watching it more than any of the other Batman films. I can hear Ben at the Sage, like, feeling a disturbance in the forest right now. Somebody said they liked Batman Returns, but fuck it.
I am the only person in the world who liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, then there are two of us. And we multiply at each convention. There'll be in two more, then two more, then two. I don't know. You know, every movie I go to, at some point, there's something in it that takes me out of it. Even The Dark Knight, like that scene at the end where he's fighting the Joker, and all of a sudden he's blinded by those electronic eyes. He's like, why didn't he just turn the electronic eyes off? You know, but from start to finish, I was just sucked into the story of Kingdoms of the Crystal Skull, and by the end, it was like the movie was over, and I was just, if I could just lose myself in a film like that, I enjoy it, you know, and even Shia LaBeouf worked kind of. He was playing a greaser. The fight between the preppies and the greasers, that worked for me, you know? Admittedly, the CGI ants sucked.
Nuke in the fridge.
Kate Blanchett was a bit of a stretch, but for the most part, I like that movie.
So cool. So cool. So
hey, if I'm going to be in a nuclear explosion, you're damn right I'm hiding in the 1950s refrigerator.
I do want to address this because everybody goes, you just watch Temple of Doom and tell me that somebody can jump out of an airplane in a little rubber dinghy, fly down a mountainside, go over a waterfall, and just come out fine. In fact, tell me that anybody could spend 3 hours in an airplane with Kate Capshaw and not kill her. The fridge is not the worst thing to ever happen.
No, that's more plausible.
Actually, they did it on Mythbusters. With the
yeah, but not with the waterfall too.
It's you know what? It may be possible. It's highly improbable.
So the rest of this panel is opening up to you guys. Just talk about films that you know that either you love, everyone else hates, you hate, everyone else loves, and why. That's specifically why we're here right now. So let's see. Well, we gotta go with the guy holding up the Santa Christ picture.
Rob, I'm so sorry for what I'm going to say, but I don't like the Lord of the Rings trilogies.
Whoa!
No way! No way!
Who conjured you out of a dark pit?
No way!
Now, keep going. Now, what did you like about it?
My biggest problem, like, they're well-made movies, well-directed, well-acted, but I just don't like any of the characters that much. They're not interesting.
Now, I'm curious. Now, did you read the books or not?
No. My dad read the books. I'm not judging.
I have a feeling you disappointed your dad with this observation.
Not the first time, but.
Son, nobody wears a vest without a jacket.
So, just as the movies themselves, the characters are just found kind of bland and just boring. Like, even though I think the Hobbit films are worse, I like Bilbo Baggins more as a protagonist than I ever liked Frodo. I think he's more interesting.
I actually agree. I don't have anything against Elijah Wood. The nature of the story is the real character in Lord of the Rings is Sam. He's
Woo! Of course you are, Mr. Frodo, and I'm going with you.
Stop blowing at me, Sam.
But no, when I saw the first movie, when I saw Fellowship, I actually had a real problem getting into these movies because, like, I read the first book, and I was a touch of a purist. I just had this way I thought I should go, and I thought they changed way too much, and I thought the pacing and the cutting and everything was just really choppy and
The
stuff.
midi-chlorians didn't make sense.
I just want to get this straight. You're a touch of a purist, but you love the Hobbit movies?
Oh, no.
What the hell?
No, I'll tell you, just the first one. I'll tell you why. Because The Hobbit is the Fellowship of the Ring I never got, in my opinion. That's why I like the first Hobbit.
Which also wasn't the Hobbit. So I never got the Hobbit, and you finally got the Fellowship.
Well, everybody's disappointed in some way. That's what's so great about it. But I've heard that argument before that, like, there's just sort of the wise man with the cane, and the wide-eyed young person who doesn't understand the world but is going to, and the tough, gruff guy, and the Legolas, the
Perfect as all hell.
Yeah, I know that's a joke. I know he's not. But I definitely heard that before, and there definitely are people that can't get into those movies as much. I haven't heard the characters as much, so that's very interesting. Have you been helped? Oh, you can fix the mics. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Perfect. So, no, definitely heard that before. So, yeah, you're not alone on that. Let's see. Michael, why don't you pick the next one?
I'll be talking to you later, by the way.
Shadow.
I have two that I like that I don't think anybody else in the world likes.
All right.
The first one is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
You like?
I love it.
Okay.
It's so romantic. They have great chemistry, and it makes fun of relationships.
Talking Tiger.
Is the other one Death to Smoochie?
The other one's Space Jam.
You like Space Jam?
Space Jam!
I get so much flack for that because I'm a furry.
Yeah, I've got
Of course, you like the cartoon animals. That's what I get.
There's a lot of people who like Space Jam. I can't stand it.
We are pilgrims in an unholy land.
The biggest thing I get is the inconsistencies, but Happy Gilmore has a lot of inconsistencies, and people still love it.
Yeah, if you told me Happy Gilmore was the Looney Tunes, I'd be pretty pissed off. Yeah, that's true.
Watch that.
But no, there's with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, made a lot of money, and I know a lot of people.
I get so much grief though.
Well,
Maybe you should take the tiger suit off.
What suit?
So no, there definitely a lot of people saw that. It's a big hit. So you're definitely along with that one. Space Jam, same thing, a huge hit. And it has an audience, and it definitely has a crowd. And like I said, I definitely don't like it, but there's a lot of people that just like seeing the Looney Tunes with Michael Jordan, and it's like I can kind of understand that.
Go to Six Flags Great
Do
American.
you think they should make a second one with LeBron James?
Yeah, that ain't happening. Everyone's like, yeah, they're gonna make another one with LeBron James. Yeah, I can see a Hollywood head saying, you know what, LeBron James, and it'll make money. Yeah. So yeah, no, you're definitely not alone on
I
that.
think it's just because they're old.
Because LeBron James is real charismatic, right?
Yeah. Rob, why don't you pick the next one?
You know what? I totally dig Hawaiian shirts.
Man of Steel was a competent movie.
You left out the in part of that.
It wasn't fantastic, but it was mildly enjoyable.
Now what did you like about it?
I just like that it was a new take on Superman. Like, Superman is not an easy character to write because a lot of people view him as like bland, something, a character that just sits there and you're supposed to project yourself onto him. And you know what? Trying something new, if it doesn't work out entirely, you know what? I enjoyed myself.
So for you, even if you're saying it didn't work entirely, you still like that they tried something new and they made the attempt to it.
Yes.
I can definitely understand that.
They made an effort at it. I'm not a huge fan of Zack Snyder, but I give him the pass on that one. The product placement was terrible, though.
Can I just say this? To counter that argument, because I hear that all the time, it's a new take on Superman. It's the Richard Donner film all over again. Nobody sees this? We got Zod. We got Superman starting off on Krypton. He's sent to Krypton. There's only
the father dies.
The father dies. There's only a handful of things that are new, and it was his father dies by a tornado and he chooses to die. That may be new, but it's not any good.
But no, there's, as you probably see, when I do the review, I mean, there was this big thing of people saying, guys, shh. there's this big thing about like, you know, you can't review it because people are too split on it and people are just going to explode, you know, because there is such a split. And both sides are so passionate about it.
Let's ask the comic book guy here. What is your thoughts?
I can sum up everything that was wrong in Man of Steel with one gesture.
But no, there is definitely it made a ton of money. They're making a sequel with Ben Affleck as Batman, and we'll see how that turns out.
You're not alone.
Yeah, but I mean, there are definitely a lot of people who did like that movie, and you know, and when I did the review too, I was saying to myself, I really tried to sort of sympathize, say, what is it that people are liking about it? Because I really couldn't see it. And yeah, I think there is something where, you know, people do want to see something that, you know, they want to see their hero, but they want to see him, you know, darker. And I think when they say darker, they want to see him take on something even tougher. And I think the stuff that they chose for the audience they're going for is
literally darker.
Well, literally, yeah, I like a little color. But no, there's definitely a lot of people that, like I said, made a lot of money. They're making a sequel. They're not making a Superman Returns 2. You know, I mean, they're making Man of Steel 2. I mean, so there's definitely a lot of people that was also the Donner film.
And can I ask Doug one last question?
Sure, go ahead.
Because I have to. Honey, where are my pants? Nobody's noticed that yet. That's what I'm doing here.
Oh, you have no pants.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. That's it. Let's see. Let's do something. Let's do a person standing up all the way in the back there. Oh, I mean, you were being talked to. Okay, well, give this person one you pick. No, I was talking to you. So, but I already picked her, so we'll do you first.
I just want to make a comment about the Superman.
Okay.
He should have died with Christopher Reeve.
Wow, that's dark.
There's too much money there. They wouldn't let that happen.
He was the best.
I agree. I don't think you can top. I actually didn't mind this guy too much, though. Surprisingly, I didn't like the movie, but I thought the guy was okay. But yeah.
I knew it was suck.
I don't think anyone's gonna top Reeves.
Wait, I love that. I didn't watch the movie, but I know.
My guess is you probably would not like it.
Like I said, Christopher Reeve.
He was really good. Yeah, no, he's my favorite too. Awesome. We got it. Best. So, Brian, why don't you pick the next one there?
Oh, thank you. Okay, science guy.
When I say this is usually the part. I like the new RoboCop movie, but when I say I like the new RoboCop movie better than the old one, that's where I get some hate.
Now, what did you? I've seen the old one. I haven't seen the new one. What did you like about the new one?
Well, it's
Better,
just,
I should say.
Well, it's just with the new one, the characters were a bit more relatable instead of it just mainly being about the main RoboCop. They actually managed to make the side characters a bit more relatable, and the family actually played a role as to the old one. It's just a flashback of a happy memory. To me, that's just not a real family because anyone can remember happy times, but there's also troubling times, tough times.
You like that there was more focus on the family and they made it a little bit more three-dimensional with his past and there's much more of a connection.
I just have to laugh because you're giving our Adventure Time V-Logs guy up here like a heart attack. The facial expression. It's like, what? No.
Also, this part I'm really probably going to yell at me about, but I just didn't like the Ann Lois character. I mean, to me the chemistry just seemed a bit off because when they met before
in the original or the new one?
In the original, the woman. When they
there's a lot of women. You mean the wife? You mean the side partner? The partner? Okay.
When they met, they only met for one day, and then he died, and somehow she has a really good bond with him. That's just unrealistic in my opinion.
Okay. No, I can see it. So you like that there was more time dedicated to like the connections between the people and stuff like that in the new one. It is because RoboCop is very much an an 80s, fuck yeah, movie where it's like you're mostly watching it for guns and satire and sort of dark humor and stuff. But there is that character there too with him going back to his family. But I see what you're talking about too because the family stuff is all the traditional flashback with the white border, slow-mo, just, oh, honey, I mean, And you like this new one because it's much more relatable because you see more of like the down times and the hard times as well.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
I actually haven't seen it. Eventually I'll get around to watching it, but one of the issues I had was PG-13.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have no desire to see this on the big screen.
Why did he still have his hand? I mean, in the movie they say they could save the armor, then they throw it away, but in the sequel you still has a human hand, and I don't get that.
I think that was a reference to the old one because they said that they managed to keep one of the hands in the new one, and they just want to do a little Easter egg from that one.
I guess. He looks like a Metal Gear Solid character.
Well, it actually opens up like a Metal Gear Freeze.
There you go. So no, awesome. Good one there.